Kia ora and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am here with the wonderful Natalie Cutler-Welsh, and we are going to explore all sorts of topics related to bravery. So welcome, Natalie. Welcome here.
Thank you so much. So lovely to be here with you.
Yeah, it's beautiful timing with this new moon. I feel like there's a lot of magic available to all of us as soon as we decide to allow this. So what I like to do just to start off is just really step into the divinity of the moment and just start with a little karakia. So this year I'm singing the karakia, and this one is all about opening our heart. I'll start us off and with this one. Here we go. Te aroha, te whakapono, me te rangi mari e tātou tātou e. Let me introduce Natalie. Natalie is an impact and visibility coach creating expansive impact alongside aligned coaches, healers, and leaders through connections, collaborations, and courage. Natalie has coached and trained hundreds of individuals, entrepreneurs, and organizations over her 15+ year career. With over 500 interviews, and I'm lucky to be one of those recipients, that shine the light on others, and again, I've felt that light. Natalie can help you share your wisdom with the world in a way that feels authentic, aligned, and fun. Natalie's daily purpose statement is, every day I get up to shine the light on people, problems, and possibilities so we can come together and help heal humanity. Natalie invites you to voice your impact, up your brave, and do what you were born for. She's a speaker, author, reality check radio host, a truth seeker, and a wellness warrior. Well, hallelujah, amen. Natalie, welcome. That's an impressive bio. Tell me in 3 words how you would sum all of that up.
Evolving as I go.
Love that. Love that.
Absolutely.
I really love that. It's yeah. So I started with a new moon, and if anyone here is listening to this or you're watching the replay, I'm gonna start with asking Natalie how in this dragon year, in this big year, energetically, in this kind of positive moving forward, what are you doing to embody that big energy, to up your brave, Natalie?
In this dragon year, I'm expanding, but one of the things I realized recently, and over the past 15 years, but really recently, is in order to have, I've always been on this quest for impact. I'm kind of obsessed with it, and I didn't really understand why until recently. But in order to have expansive impact, we sometimes need to let go. So like letting go that things are going to be perfect. I don't have that problem. Letting go of what other people will think. I also don't really have that problem. But here's the one I do. Letting go of control. Letting go and allowing other people to lead, so delegating and mentoring people in a different way. So with my Empowered Connections Club, which you're in, which you're part of, and having some of those launch in different geographic areas. At the moment, New Zealand, but I did have a woman in Australia reach out. And so it's like, wow, I love the idea of not having to do it all myself, but being able to mentor or cheer on other people to do a similar version of what I do, which is basically in-person connections for expansive impact.
So tell us, how did you come actually into that? How have you evolved really into supporting entrepreneurs and business owners and predominantly women? How did you come into this space of helping others to connect and to shine their light? How did you come into it?
I can take you to the moment. It was one of those things. Very quickly after so I'm Canadian Kiwi, but we had lived in Christchurch for 7 years or so after working at Outward Bound. So my backstory is outdoor education, using nature and the outdoors as a medium for personal development and growth. So I've always been obsessed with people and them looking at themselves. Who am I? What am I here for? What am I capable of? It's always been my golden thread through everything I've done. And lots of academia came before that. But I'll take you to the moment after we had the Christchurch earthquake, where in 30 hours, my husband lost his job. We had a baby and our house was in the red zone, so it wasn't super livable.
Anyway, in Christchurch. This is a Christchurch girl.
Yeah, that's in Christchurch. just around in Woodchester Avenue, which is just around from River Road, which is really close to Shirley Boys High School, so geographically.
So you had the rivers all shifting and moving.
Yeah.
And the whole city literally lifted up and dropped.
And plonked. Yeah. And my side of the street was red and the other side of the street was green. So red means we had to actually sell the land to the crown, whatever. And we ended up moving. Long story short, moved to Auckland, fresh start, didn't know anyone. So new house, new city, new friends, knew all the things with 3 young kids, including a 6-week-old baby. And I just started meeting moms, and one was an artist and one was a personal trainer. And I was like, why don't you all come around, bring your babies, and we'll just have like a business coffee group. Now, I was not a business owner. I was just currently writing a book. I was an aspiring author. A parenting author, actually. And so I had these women around, every 2 weeks for an hour, 2 hours in my lounge, and I would facilitate. I would be like, what is going on for you? How can we help? Leave your ego at the door. I used to always say that. I know our ego protects us, but I used to say, basically, come as you are. Don't try to be all like perfect and amazing. Just what's going on for you. And then flash forward a few months, my husband said, Nat, we are going backwards financially. Because Auckland is a lot more expensive than Christchurch. These ladies that you're bringing together, can you charge these ladies? And that's how my business started. Doing something I was doing for free, that I love doing, that I was good at, and just putting a price tag on it.
Nice. So I'm really interested in the evolution. So how many years ago? That was 2000.
That was 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Oh my God. So did you start in 2012?
Well, I think so. My baby, the earthquake baby, he's about to turn 13, on the 23rd of this month. Yeah. So I basically started it. I can't actually remember how, when he would have been 6 months old, or I really can't remember, but it would have been
very important because we are the dragon year. Okay.
I'm going to go and check when I open my Facebook page. I would say that would probably be the time.
And it's so important because that was a water taniwha or a water dragon. This is and the one before that was the golden, but literally they were essentially about the breaking down, and we are now in a moving ahead dragon. Okay, we're in the spring phase, the wood dragon. Actually, there was another interviewer who shared that with us yesterday. So in this powerful time of like growth and with the shoots coming up, it's really, really interesting that you have, that you actually started to incubate this in the last. It makes it very auspicious for you. And if anyone is listening to this interview, you want to be thinking about what happened in these cycles before and what you're actually bringing forward into this year with from your heart. So tell me, from that time when you actually started to if you can reflect back on the time where you started, like what have been some of the real learnings? And I'm thinking, if I'm out there and I'm listening, particularly if you're in Auckland and the rest of the country and Australia, if you're wanting to connect in with Natalie, what do you offer people who come into your circle?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because it's really like, wow, this is fascinating. I'm circling back to where I started, but the energy of what I'm doing, it's still me. I've always been super welcoming, super friendly, wanting to go a little bit deeper than just like, tell me about your business kind of thing. But the people that are coming in now, 12 years later, are slightly different. They're more healers. They're more spiritual. Most of them are coaches. Most of them are speakers. My people usually want to use their voice to positively impact the world and just the energy of what they're here for. When I say, I'm here to help heal humanity, my people are like, I'm with you, girl. Like that is a goal. Whereas the people that I might have worked with back in the day, they would be like, oh no, I just like to paint. Or I'm just training these things. I don't need to heal humanity. Like it wouldn't even be on their radar of consciousness, back then. And if I think about now, because I still know some of them, still not on their radar of consciousness. But so the people that I'm calling in or that resonating with right now are on a mission, similar to mine. And I think that's what makes it so easy.
Yeah. And so tell me how, really, give us an example of someone who's come through one of your clubs and the way that they have grown, that particularly, I always love to hear from someone who's gone from being not so conscious to like actually really stepping up and going, hey world, here I am, here's my message.
Yeah, and there's a few people who are like secretly spiritual. Like I had one woman come to my retreat, my Escape to the Forest business retreat, and she was really in the spiritual closet, and really just trying to get her head around, how do I show the true version of me? Because I'm really into people showing the true and current. It doesn't mean we weren't being true 5 years ago, but we evolved, we changed. So the true and current version of you, and showing that to the world, whether it be sitting in a circle, which is how we do it, usually outside if the weather's okay, and introducing ourselves. But it's not a 60-second spiel. It's not a sales pitch. It's none of those things. I always say it's not bright and shiny networking, as much as I love sparkles. It's not that. It's authentic. And it's like, hey, here's what I'm creating at the moment. Or I get them to say, what are you courageously creating? Or what are you bringing forth? What do you, at the moment? And how can we help you? And they literally say, and ladies, this is what you can do to help me. Here's how you, and it's a request. So that's just a different energy. And so I guess it's really people being comfortable. They arrive and they go, like shoulder drop. Oh, these are my people. And they basically can be themselves. They have the confidence to be themselves because people aren't being super judgy. People are role model. They're just being authentic. And so it allows everyone else to be the same. And one person does come to mind. And just because I really love to encourage people when they introduce themselves, don't just default to like your usual thing. I encourage them, experiment. Like this is the place to try out different ways of explaining like who you are, what you're here for. And sometimes I'll get them to do a backstory introduction or a testimonial introduction or buzzwords introduction or like, what do you just love? Like, what can you just not do? So I'll kind of guide them in different ways. But one girl in particular, when she first came to us, you could tell that she was just kind of doing her memorized spiel and doing part of her journey, because we often will coach part of our journey, something we've worked through that we're now past and we can help others with. But it really wasn't resonating for her or for us. Like we could feel it. And, and she even had a photo shoot and we were like, the photos are great, but you're not being that person when we see you. And it's just been such a magical journey to see her evolve and really step into who she truly is, just from showing up and just from trying out, and listening to other people do the same thing. How the journey she's been on and how she now helps people. And it's amazing. And I can see now she's being herself. Now she's being the girl I saw in those photos.
So when you say bringing people together to help heal humanity, what I hear consistently, and I really hope other people are hearing this, that it's about being in a supportive environment that enables you to be your authentic self, to speak about the things that you love, and maybe to be honest about some of the challenges and the tribulations you've gone through in your life to get to where you are. Is that a key theme about how you see healing, or do you want to tell us a little bit more about this?
I mean, I do think, we are all healers in our own way. I feel like my superpower as such is as a super connector, meaning bringing people together, facilitating conversations, or as I do on radio, like you're doing now, is drawing out the wisdom and sharing it with the world. So I guess I see myself as more of an amplifier or an illuminator. Like I am not a Reiki practitioner. I don't do reflexology, things like that. I do essential oils, but a lot of the people that come in are healers in one way or another. And most healers that I know have been through traumatic things in their journey. And as long as they've worked through them and processed them and released them and, reignited from the ashes as such, they're able to help other people as well. So, I mean, we don't spend a lot of time going through our stories and processing. It's not a counseling session. It's not coaching. It's really genuine sharing. And then from there, together we rise. We shine the light on each other. We can, we can recommend or refer people, but often some of the ladies in my collaborations club, for example, we meet online, the other one's in person. at different locations. And in my collaborations club, often they will interview each other, and they will shine the light, on each other, and do collaborative courses. Like someone wants to do a course, but they don't know how to put together the landing page and the email sequence, like all the yucky stuff. And it's like, no, that's fine, because I can help do that, or someone else will do that part. All you need to do is show up and share your wisdom. I think that's like, everyone wants to show up and share their wisdom, don't they?
Absolutely. So and I'd like to just get a bit deeper in that. So you've talked about the individual process, about how important it is really to find a space where you can be encouraged to come out of your shell. Why are collaborations so important? Just, not just for the self, but what happens? Because I've seen some of the magic that occurs when people come collaboratively together. But what for you? What is the superpower that you bring through this collaborative networking?
Well, I think most of the people I know and work with are solopreneurs, in the sense that they work for themselves and by themselves. So meaning most of them don't have staff. Most of them don't work in like a space that they have to, they work their own hours. So it can be quite solitary, isolating, and all of those things. And I think collaborations are so key, because I never believed in competition, really, in this space. I'm a believer in what I call co-opetition. I've been saying that for 12 years. I don't believe in competition. I believe in co-opetition, especially in this space where we all have our unique abilities and together we rise. And so collaboration is really a tangent of that philosophy, where imagine if you worked, instead of trying to do a 6-week online course by yourself, you worked with 5 other women, and you each did 1 week where you would do basically an hour of content into a private Facebook group that one of the more techie person might have set up, and someone else did the landing page, and it's all very organized, and people are paying money to be in it. So you're going to earn some dollars and be able to share your wisdom, and you don't have to do it alone. And we all promote it and shine the light on each other and to our email lists and all the things, and bring in the right people, whoever those people might be. It just has that elevated energy, because it's like you don't have to do it yourself. You can,
That is the superpower, because even in this healing space, when groups come together, a group meditation is so much more powerful than you working on your own. Like, as you say, a question here: do you think that women are more open to this kind of collaborating? I'm
going to say yes, but honestly, I do not work with a lot of men. Like, my world is 95%, 98% women. So I can't really comment on men so much, but I would imagine they might be more competitive. But we hear these things about women being competitive and things, but I haven't really seen that in my journey. I've really seen women being open to connecting and authentically, not just pretending everything's fine, and then also collaborating. When there's a common theme, for example, for a course or a live event or a retreat. You came along to my Empowered Connections Club. You totally vibed with Carrie. I didn't have to do anything. It's just that you guys came together in that space, and you went on to create an amazing, powerful event. And then there's other women in my group who they ended up doing a co-hosted retreat together, and other people doing video interviews. And so it can come in any form, any shape, any size, but it's usually around working together to share your wisdom with others, so that we all have raising the frequency or having a positive impact on humanity.
Do you think that there is something that is inexplicably magical that happens when you put yourself into a realm or in a circle of a whole lot of other people?
And on that note, when we did this Raise Your Frequency course last year with 6 of us, so we each taught 1 week, it's not like we just rocked up for our 1 week and that's it. Like, we literally would watch the video about crystals, or we would watch the video about self-love, because I agree, there's always some gem of wisdom, that's something they're going to say that even though you might know them already, or maybe some of them and some of them you don't really know that well, and you really get to know someone when they're in their zone, when they're teaching, when they're facilitating. And so there's always something to learn from the person that you're collaborating with as well.
Well, that's awesome. Can you just talk a little bit about some of the kinds of collaborations that you facilitate, because I know it's not just, it's not just circles of, can you talk? It's not just, it's online, it's in person. Can you just share a little bit about and the way that people, the reason why I'm getting you to do this sharing is so that people listening might think differently about how they can.
Yeah.
And if they're called, they may want to reach out with you as well, which we'll get to. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'll give some examples of what I'm doing, and the listeners can be thinking how they could apply that in their own business, or they can reach out to me, of course. Okay, so one of the ways is in person. So I do. It's a monthly membership, and it's called Empowered Connections Club. This is the one that I'm having Expansive Impact, because I have other people in different locations doing the same thing, but it's basically 1 hour every 2 weeks. We meet, same place, same time, same date, rain or shine. And we are usually at the beach, like on cushions or on blankets, sitting at the beach, really on the grass, kind of half under a tree, half not, for the sun lovers and the non-sun lovers. And if it's rainy or not fabulous weather, like too windy, we will walk across the road literally 1 minute to a cafe. That's the model. I've been doing it for 2 years. And that's the one that I said it's really circled back to where I began in my business 12 years ago. So that's in person, and people can do their own version of that, or they can reach out to me and partner with me, and I can help, because I mentor people on how and what and how much to charge and how does it work. So that's that. The other one is online. It's called Collaborations Club. So we have one woman in Croatia, another woman in Australia, another woman in the UK, New Zealand. And that is also fortnightly. I'm very into the power hour. A power hour fortnightly, which means every 2 weeks, same link, same place, same time. But what that really is facilitated collaborations. So it's more me. I'm more like putting things in front of them. Facilitated collaborations, invitations, and opportunities that I put in front of people. Like, hey, ladies, there's this summit coming up on empowerment and self-worth or whatever. In America, they're looking for speakers. Here's the application form if you want to join. Or, hey, ladies, here's a great opportunity if you want to apply for this award. For global women, whatever, here's the application. So I basically have my finger on the pulse, and I put these invitations and opportunities in front of my ladies, my collab ladies, and also help them with cross-promoting each other and creating collaborative courses or collaborative retreats. That's the other one. Last year and also this year, I'm doing a Connect in the Forest retreat. And this is kind of a collab, but a collaborative can be equal, like 50-50, type thing. This is more like an 80-20, let's call it, where I'm organizing all the things, but I'm actually bringing in my beautiful friend, Victoria, who is an amazing personal brand photographer, and shining the light on her. But also part of what they get is a personal brand photo shoot as part of the retreat. And so I still consider that kind of a collaboration, because I'm bringing her in. She's working her magic. She's doing her thing. I don't really think of her as like a subcontractor. It's like we are partnering together to do this amazing retreat. And then I'm going to do one later in the year with Joanne Webb, and that would be more of a 50-50, where we're doing an Up Your Brave retreat. She's a personal trainer. She's all about self-love and also forgiveness and releasing your anger. So we'll be like screaming in the forest, and all the things. A lot of, so very much in the body. And then my stuff is more around like understanding yourself, how do you express the true you? Because we all know if you suppress your self-expression, that can result in health problems. So that is like another example of a collaboration. So people can do retreats, in-person events, online webinars. They could do a free, co-hosted webinar, masterclass. Mine is a club, which is basically a membership. They could do a coaching program together. I mean, the options are endless. I think the key is for people to come back going, okay, I know I can teach all sorts of things, but what message do I have for the world in 2024? What am I just really longing to express? And really honing in on that message, and then building it around that. Not what can you do? We can all do a lot of things. What do you feel called to do?
I love that. That's really good. And I just want to add, because we are going to go into how you reach out to Natalie, but if you're a coach, an entrepreneur, a founder, and you have something to offer, you definitely want to connect with her, because she's going to offer it to her online group if it aligns. Rounding off, what really aligns for you with this? Well, actually, I've just got to add, the Age of Aquarius is on us. We've just had the new moon. It is the Aqua new moon. It was on Saturday.
Mm.
And Aquarians, the Aquarius energy ruled by Uranus, which gives us earthquakes in this country, is actually about owning your own power and sharing in a group. Like collaborations and equality are Aquarian themes. So in terms of this alignment into that, what for you most aligns in 2024?
In terms of what I'm doing, or?
Just, yeah, what you're doing, what you love, what you're bored to bring.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things I've heard about 2024 is that a lot of things from the past will be coming up for people, friendships, issues they haven't dealt with. Things will be rising up, and it's an opportunity for us to release, right? So to cry and release, to finally speak our truth to someone in our life, or say what we never said, or whatever it might be, to really realize that thing. And then to release it. So I think that is so key, is for people to release. And, in my group, we do this, what they're done with, like what they are so done with right now. So whatever it is that they're just not wanting to do in their business, in their life, a certain friendship, a habit, a duty, an obligation, whatever that looks like, it's time to, and I say, up your brave and be courageous, which it's not always easy to release something from your life, because we want to cling on to what we know. But sometimes when we let that thing go, of course, we know we open the door for something new and more aligned, for the true us that we are, the current version of ourselves.
What about you?
Right now.
What are you letting go of?
Well, there's some relationship things that I'm just so aware. Like I know this is the only thing in my life that's out of alignment. Like I'm so clear in my business, I'm kind of if I don't love it, I don't do it. Like I'm not attached to things. Like I used to have a podcast called the Go-To Girl Podcast and the If Only They Told Me podcast. And I did 200 episodes. And then when I was like, this feels too much like work, I'm really not loving it. And so I just stopped. Good. People were like, you were doing so well, you had so many followers. I'm like, yeah, but nah.
Yeah, but nah.
Yeah, but nah. So so for me it would be more
that's our Kiwi slang. Just
is it? Oh, I'm so
rest of the world. So Kiwi. Yeah,
but nah. So that would be mine, would be more in the relationship realm. But I think I'm also inviting myself to look at my business and go, okay, Nat, what is not serving you, or what no longer brings you joy, what no longer lights you up, and lovingly letting go of that thing. It's not easy to do, but it is so important.
Love it. So Natalie, best way to get in touch with, or is there, just before I actually get into that, is there anything that you're offering in the next month that you would like to share with anyone who will be listening and wanting to come and collaborate in your beautiful, welcoming arms?
Well, I just closed the doors on my collaborations club, so that will open again in May. But to answer your question, I have two things. One is in person at the Connect in the Forest retreat. It is in New Zealand, but hey, we can always jump on a plane. So contact me for that. And the other one is if anyone feels called to either come along or maybe lead their own Empowered Connections Club, which is in-person connections for Expansive Impact. I do have lots of people reaching out to me going, hey, I'd be curious to learn more about doing one in my area. What does that look like? How does it work? Because it would be for them a small income stream that they could grow from and all the things. So they can contact me at upyourbrave.com. That is the easiest place to find.
And we will have links below, all of the descriptions, links below.
And but I'm really, really good at Messenger as well, like Instagram, upyourbrave_. So upyourbrave on Instagram, and upyourbrave with Natalie Cutler-Welsh on Facebook.
Very awesome. So we're going to close in the divinity moment, because in my culture practice, you open with a karakia and intention, which is really around love and that loving connection, the loving relationships that we have with each other and the world, and those we love and those we lead and those we just want to play and have fun with. And I have asked if Natalie will close us and seal this interview. So if you're listening, you're going to get that high frequency sealing of this divine interview. Natalie, I'm going to hand over to you to close us in whatsoever way you choose, my friend.
Thank you. It is time to allow things to rise up from within. so that we can forgive or release and create space for magical invitations and opportunities that are in full alignment to come our way. And so it is.